Vera has always been committed to matters of mental health and substance abuse and thinking about how the system could more effectively deal with those issues, or how people who were confronted with challenges, with mental health challenges or substance abuse challenges, could be diverted from the system.
By some estimates, a third of the people in jail and prison suffer from mental illness, and for some, these are very serious, like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. What does incarceration do to these people, and what challenges do they pose for corrections staff and healthcare providers?
We believe that we need to assess the health risks that jail confers to our patients, not simply the notion that we have all these very sick patients and any adverse health outcome is a product of their problem. And we certainly are thrilled with Commissioner Ponce's arrival and are really eager and really have great admiration for the work he's already done.
To get to Dr. Venters, usually it starts with an interaction with the police. Describe a little bit through your experience. What are these interactions like with the police?
They're coming in assuming the worst, and that they're going to have to control the situation. Lesser quality interactions will result in a much more violent interaction. Phoenix had a tragic incident in the 90s and came up with a whole different system so that the police come and instead of taking somebody to a hospital or to a precinct, they actually take them to a crisis center, and the handcuffs come off after 5 minutes. The police leave and the mental health professionals control the situations. You mentioned the Affordable Care Act. The beauty of this is that all of these people that are going to be having these interactions are also going to be on a health plan. And these health plans have a great deal of interest in figuring out how they can pay for another kind of service, because they don't want to pay for somebody going to a hospital and being locked up for a week or 10 days. When you talk to officers where this program has been implemented, they're saying it's the greatest thing. And this is, it's improved community relations, it's improved outcomes.
There was, I believe it was a 1994 settlement where the city created these pre-arraignment screening units, which are staffed by EMTs. Let's start with that system. How is it working? What have we learned since it's been put in place?
So what happens is, as someone comes into the court system, they're dropped off by the arresting officer, well, they're taken in by the arresting officer, and then they're seen by these EMTs who work in these pre-arraignment screening units. But the problem is that these units they're cramped, so the physical environment is not conducive to having a conversation about someone's mental health. There's no access to any kind of electronic health information, any of the kind of resources which you could use to determine someone's mental health needs more accurately. So we're planning to put access, firstly, to give people working in this setting access to the electronic health record, which Homer has already mentioned, which is available in the jail, which includes detailed information on people's health needs, including their mental health needs.
You run the Brooklyn Mental Health Court, which was established in 2001. Walk us through one of your typical cases. How does it come to you, and how does it work?
When defendants are sent for an evaluation to see whether they're fit to stand trial, rather than those defendants go back to the judge that sent them for the evaluation, they come to the mental health court first. If the person suffers from a serious and persistent mental illness, and there's some connection with the criminal behavior, it doesn't have to be direct, a loose connection, then the person would be deemed eligible for entry into the court, which, as was mentioned, is an alternative to incarceration court. I always kind of look at this as a third way, and thoughtful, I didn't make it up. Thoughtful people in criminal justice made this established mental health courts, and they proliferated throughout the country. And in fact, about 79% of our people have gone through the court in the last 12 years graduate.
But I think that that this work needs to happen earlier, whether it's crisis intervention teams or whether it's before people come into contact with law enforcement. And I think we need to, for us as researchers and people who are interested in policy and advocates, we need to think about how we start that, or how we push that conversation, so that we can identify people earlier and we can provide services so that people can be healthy and avoid contact with the criminal justice system.